of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I won't always smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Famous Fun.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, and as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so let's get those likes up. It doesn't cost you a thing. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, hello. Fosheezy1 is here. Claudette, the lovely T, Edward, Walter Johnson is here. 504 Nola, Jeff ATL, Truth Montage, Pearly. All right, Lillian X, Yvette B is in the house. Priscilla, Hot Cocoa, DJ Big Six. All right, Wavy though, Vince I Am, all the way from the UK. So let's get into it. Melanated Phenomenon is in the house. Y'all get those likes up for the Queen. Thank you in advance. Okay, all hell no, did I say you, beloved? Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, I already put the link for the backup channels live in the chat. Let me put it again real quick for those of you who follow the backup channel, because we've got to talk about the reopening of this case by a young lady that I knew and worked with. She's been missing for over 20 years, and now ATL police have decided to go ahead and reopen that case. Also, a 10-year-old killed 2 people. This is all nefarious, okay? So let's get into it. Gigi says, Queen, do you market your beautiful head wraps? You know what, beloved? I don't, but people have been asking me to, so maybe I will. Okay, I have some things in the making that I'll be telling you all about real soon, okay? My dear sister Lisa Cabrera wants me to sell my hair oils, okay, and some other things that I make. So I'll likely start doing that. All right, and maybe I'll do the head wraps too. Okay, hey, Little Walker, True Snow TV is in the house. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, so let's talk about it. First off, let's talk about these reparations that they're not going to give people in California after they sat up there and had a whole commission. California lawmakers passed landmark bills to atone for racism, but hold off on funds to take action. That sounds like a whole lot of talk as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so California lawmakers this week passed some of the nation's most ambitious legislation aimed at atoning for a legacy of racist policies that drove disparities for Black people, from housing to education to health. Now, none of the bills would provide widespread direct payments, please pay attention, to African Americans. The state legislature instead approved proposals allowing for the return of land or compensation to families whose property was unjustly seized by the government, and issuing a formal apology for laws and practices that have harmed Black people. I'm sorry, I don't need their apology, and I don't think the Californians need their apology either. Okay, give them their land and their money at the end of the day. Now, they say lawmakers left out 2 bills that would have created a fund and an agency to carry out the measures, considered key components of the efforts to take action. California Legislative Black Caucus Chair Assembly member Lori Wilson said on Saturday that the Black Caucus pulled the bills, adding that the proposals need more work. Now, I want you all to pay attention. You see, these are your own people. This is the Black Caucus that did this, talking about they have concerns, all right? Saying we knew from the very beginning it was an uphill battle, and we also knew from the very beginning that it would be a multi-year effort. This is what Wilson told reporters. Now, Senator Stephen Bradford, who authored the measures, said the bills didn't move forward out of fear that Governor Gavin Newsom would veto them. Okay, that sounds like a whole load of BS, okay? I just want you all to pay attention. These people don't care about their own people because they already have their money. They're a bunch of bootlicks, okay? So they probably don't even need reparations, okay? No problem about it. They don't need it. Now, so that all been said, they go on to say years of effort went into making California the first state in the nation to get reparations laws to the governor's desk to be signed into law. Yet tonight, in the final hours of this year's legislative session, two key bills to repair harm for African American descendants of enslaved people met their bitter demise. Now, although other bills in a 14-bill reparations package introduced by the legislature's Black Caucus passed this session, Democratic Senator Stephen Bradford of Inglewood couldn't convince the caucus assembly leaders to bring to the floor the two ambitious bills that he carried independently. Shout out to him for trying, okay? Because these devils. And so Bradford's Senate bills 1403 and 1331 would have created a new agency and also a fund to help implement policies recommended last year by a first-in-the-nation state task force, including eventual direct cash payments to the African-American descendants of people enslaved in the United States. Now, the envisioned California American Freedom Affairs Agency would have helped Black Californians research their genealogy, confirm their eligibility for reparations payments, and expedite their claims. The Senate already had approved both bills. I want you all to pay attention. The Senate had already approved both bills. But last week, Governor Gavin Newsom's administration tried unsuccessfully to change one of them so that rather than create the new state agency to move on reparations, it instead would authorize California State University to study the issue further. They always have to conduct studies and research when it comes to giving us what they owe, and to further recommend a process for determining a person's eligibility for reparations payments. That didn't sit well with Bradford and advocates of his approach, who contend that the state has already spent 4 years long studying reparations. That's exactly what these devils have done. I just want y'all to pay attention. Newsom's office declined to comment, saying he typically does not speak about pending legislation. Now, the California governor met the task force's report with what many felt was a lukewarm reception. Reparations, he says, they were about much more than cash payments. Really? Well, go tell that to the youths, okay? Tell that to them. And then when you're done, go tell it to the Italians. And then when you're done, go tell it to the natives. And then when you're done, go tell it to the Japanese. Because nobody told them that reparations was about more than cash payments. Nobody told them that they needed to continuously study it for years. This is all so crazy. At the end of the day, I just want you all to pay attention to how the devils operate. They don't want to give Black people anything. That's just the fact of the matter. And let's not forget how earlier or last month, how they did the people down there in Tulsa. Now, let me tell you about that for those of you who missed it. Tulsa Commission will study reparations for 1921 race massacre victims and descendants. Now, you know, this was August the 2nd when they put this out, but you know that the people who are survivors are over 100 years old. How long do you think they're going to last? See, they're waiting for these people to die off. Tulsa officials announced the creation of a new commission to recommend how reparations can be made for a 1921 massacre that destroyed a thriving Black community in the city. The panel will review a 2023 report for the city and a 2001 report by a state commission on Tulsa race massacre, in which a white mob killed as many as 300 Black residents. And I want you all to pay attention. Now, they want us to think that it was, first of all, only 300 people. It was in the thousands, okay? It was in the thousands, according to people who lived years ago that survived. They're now deceased, unfortunately, but they said it was thousands of people, at least 3,000. Okay, this is what they always do with these race riots. They always lie and act like it was such a much lower number. And then in some cases, like in the case of in Rosewood, they try to act as though so many white folks were killed too. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention. The devils are so dirty. Goes on to say, that as many as 300 Black residents were killed and burned the city's Greenwood district to the ground. Both reports called for financial reparations, which Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum has opposed. Okay, I want y'all to think about that. What do you need to study? They know what they did. History knows what they did. And the mayor opposes it. Reparations will almost certainly include a housing equity program, as the Beyond Apology Commission's first task under Biden's order announced on Thursday said it was to create one. Now, the program would be for survivors of the massacre, as well as descendants of victims and other residents of North Tulsa, where the massacre occurred. Only 2 known survivors are still alive. One of the most challenging issues to navigate during my time as mayor has been that of reparations for the victims of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre and their families. This is what Bynum, the same person who opposed it, this is what he said in the statement. He noted that the city's Beyond Apology report last year found that residents view reparations as not just cash payments. Now, I want you all to pay attention. Said the residents view it as not just cash payments. Here's the problem. What they're trying to do in all of these cases where they keep talking about studying, they're trying to make the argument that, well, you know, these black people who are the descendants of slaves are the ones who survived the Tulsa race massacre. They want more than cash, so we need to sit here and figure out what else we're going to give them. We need to keep studying and research. No, that's not it. Give them their darn money. That's all you need to do. And anything else, they can take care of it after that. They're just making a whole bunch of BS excuses, is all I'm saying. So anyway, goes on to say other recommendations included improved educational opportunities, housing and economic development, improved health care, and the return of land to survivors of descendants. You know, at the end of the day, these people just do the same old same. Okay? They just do the same old same. Hey, y'all TV, thank you for your contribution, beloved. Says, black people's reparations are going to illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, black people is paying for them to get 0% on houses and loans. Kamala state. Exactly. That's why I can rock with her. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. All right. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic. Okay, so this is just all crazy. But let me go to this video someone did about reparations and why black folk aren't getting them.
Devil is want to know why we have never gotten reparations and we never will until we start to think and behave differently. It's because we fall for the same BS every 4 years. Fear-mongering and symbolism. Those are the 2 primary weapons of the Democratic Party. That is their whole platform. It is literally, you better vote for us because you don't want the Republicans to get in. Otherwise, you know, the devil is going to come out of the ground and the sky at the same time and the world's going to explode. Is it, you know, boogeyman tactics, fear-mongering, and then symbolism. It's always something, some sort of symbolic gesture, such as the first black president, first black woman VP, first black VP, or something along those lines to get black people motivated to vote. That's all it takes to get black people to stray off the beaten path. That is their whole, Democrats' whole black platform. No, I'm not a Republican. I'm no longer a Democrat. I'm an independent voter who believes in giving his vote to the candidate who represents the platform that can serve my demographics' best interest. Simple as that. It does not matter what the platform is. I represent the black people who want something tangible, who want something in exchange for their vote, something of value, such as reparations for American descendants of American chattel slaves, American descendants of chattel slavery. You see what I'm saying? ADOS or Foundation of Black Americans, whatever it is you want to call us. That's what I'm in favor of. That's what I want in exchange for my vote. And if none of the candidates are talking about that, then none of the candidates get my vote. It's as simple as that. We have got to stop falling for fear mongering and stop falling for symbolism. We don't need another damn black holiday. Okay, we don't need Harriet Tubman's face on the $20 bill. We don't need a second Black History Month. We don't need to extend Black History Month. We don't need none of that. We don't need another first black president, first black VP. We don't need a first black anything. All of that is symbolic garbage. We need action. We want tangibles. And if we can't get that, then we simply don't vote. And then whatever the hell happens without our vote. That's the way we got to think. Because if we don't start thinking like that, then we will be here 40, 50 years from now, still having the same dumbass conversation. Well, well, they ain't doing nothing for us. Why? Because we don't want to work together as a unit. We don't want to work together as a team, and we're still falling for 50 years later. We're still falling for fear mongering and symbolism. That's all it takes to appease black people. Just that bar is just low. We got to raise those standards and demand something of value for our vote. And quite frankly, And quite frankly, I'm sick of the Democratic Party. I think we need to take a break from them. We need to try something different. I don't know what they're different. Something different. Not voting independent, whatever the hell, practicing group economics, but just simply voting for the Democratic Party, especially when the candidate just told you when she first ran for president that she's not going to do anything specifically for black people. I mean, to make the decision to vote for that candidate after they just told you they're not going to do anything for you is ridiculous to me. All because it could be the first black woman president. Symbolism, man. Fear-mongering and symbolism. Got to stop falling for it. We got to start demanding something for our vote. And that's the end of my rant.
Okay, I find it all nefarious at the end of the day, but no lies detected. That's the same thing I've been saying. The Democrats always use fear-mongering, okay? And every 4 years, every time there's another election, this is always the one that our lives depend on, okay? Please pay attention. This is always the one that our lives depend on, okay? Chris Vesey said he said nothing wrong. Now I want you all to hear what Senator Senator Tom Cotton, what he had to say about this whole thing that happened over there in Israel with these hostages. Okay, 6 hostages found dead. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And pay attention to how the journalist goes in on him because she doesn't like what he said about Kabami and Biden.
Of Arkansas, Senator Cotton, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with this devastating news, the discovery of 6 bodies, hostages, including Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg Poland. Everyone, I think, feels heartbroken this morning, the entire nation and frankly world mourning these deaths. What is your reaction, Senator, and what do you think this will mean for hostage negotiations?
Well, it's terribly sad news that Hamas executed these 6 hostages in cold blood, apparently shot them in the head shortly before they might have been rescued by Israeli Defense Forces. My heart goes out to all the families, especially Hirsch Goldberg Poland's family, our fellow American. There are other fellow Americans still to be accounted for. But I think we should note that these hostages were discovered in the tunnels under Rafah. That's where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put pressure on Israel not to enter for months, used an arms embargo to try to keep them from entering. Kamala Harris even said that Israel shouldn't enter Rafah because she had studied the maps. What the Biden-Harris administration should have done from the beginning is not pressure Israel to restrain its response, but let Israel win from the very outset. For 11 months, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have put more pressure on Israel than they put on Hamas and Iran's other terror proxies.
And Senator, just to be clear, there, of course, is no arms embargo. It is true that the Biden administration did halt one shipment of arms out of concern
No,
over
that's
civilian
not
casualties.
correct. No, Kristen, that's not correct.
It is correct. There's no
There
arms
was
embargo.
For weeks, the Biden-Harris administration put an embargo, not just on large 2,000-pound bombs, which of course are needed to penetrate these deep and buried tunnels, but on things like tank rounds and artillery shells and mortar rounds.
It was just one shipment of arms. It was the 2,000-pound
Kristen, it was a
that you're
large
talking about
category
and
of weapons.
500 pounds. But
it was a large category of weapons.
Okay, but they have now moved forward with that. It's not an arms embargo, though, just to be very clear. That's a very specific term, and it's not an arms embargo.
It was in place for many weeks, specifically to try to prevent Israel from entering Rafah, where these hostages were discovered. Yeah. If we had simply backed Israel to the hilt from October 7th, this war would probably be over. We probably would have found many more hostages alive, and there would have been fewer civilian casualties caused by Hamas's infliction of those civilian casualties on its own people. But at every turn, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have put more pressure on Israel than they have on Iran and Hamas.
And of course, they have also argued that the U.S. stands firmly behind Israel. It was one arms shipment. Let's talk about Prime Minister Netanyahu.
It was more than, it was many more. No, Kristen,
Netanyahu,
you can do your fact check thing all you want. I'm going to tell you the real facts. It was a large category of weapons, far beyond just 2,000-pound bombs.
Okay, but it wasn't an arms embargo. That's my only point. It wasn't specifically an arms embargo. Let's just move forward, though, in terms of.
I'm sorry, but he refused to allow her to talk over him, okay? Because she was definitely trying to, okay, no matter whom you agree with her, he was not about to let her have it, Okay, he wouldn't have better let her talk over him. Asia says the lying media tries to lead a false narrative all the time, beloved. This is what they always do. Okay, this is what they always do. Okay, so anyway, Kamala and Biden are now saying that they were not invited by the Gold Star families to Arlington. This is what they say. Okay, White House says Biden and Harris weren't invited to Arlington Cemetery by families of service members killed during the Afghanistan war. I have a hard time believing that. Okay, I have a hard time believing that. It goes on to say, Gold Star families did not invite President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to Arlington National Cemetery by last week to commemorate the 3rd anniversary of the attack at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. This is what a White House official said, and also what a Harris aide told NBC News, rebuting separate claims made Sunday by GOP Senator Tom Cotton and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. So they try to say Tulsi's lying. I just want you to pay attention. You know darn well they were invited. How would they not invite them, but they invited Trump? Okay, let's talk about it, okay? Now, the two were speaking about former President Donald Trump's visit last week to Arlington National Cemetery, where he has drawn criticism for posing for photos with Gold Star families in a section of the cemetery where photos are traditionally prohibited. Now, so last week, White House National Secretary Council spokesman John Kirby said Trump's visit was a personal invitation by families, saying there are many ways that we as a nation and our leaders can observe the 3rd anniversary of Abbey Gate. Another way is to continue work, maybe not with a lot of fanfare, maybe not with a lot of public attention, maybe not with cameras, but to work every single day to make sure that families of the fallen and of those who were injured and wounded, not just at Abbey Gate, but over the course of the 20-some odd years that we were in Afghanistan, have the support that they need. Okay, so more excuses. I just want you all to pay attention to how they always make these asinine excuses and all of this for Kobani, okay, and Biden. This is what they do. But at the end of the day, I saw a panel discussion where they absolutely went in on them. And I thought it was nefarious, okay, and hilarious. Mind you, I was cracking up because, quite frankly, they probably went in as hard on Kobani as I did days ago. Okay, I think it was Saturday, when I went in on her and picked out all the lies that she told during her interview and all of that, and how she was using Tim Walz as a shield. Okay, she couldn't sit there by herself. Now, I do know and understand that when there are presidential elections coming up, the president or the nominee and their running mate do sit down for interviews, but they don't typically do that on the first interview. They typically do their own independent interviews first. But that just proves to me that Kobani can't stand on her own 2 feet. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All right? Please make it make sense. Hey, y'all, TV said, Mama Queen, Gold Star families have already come out and did interviews, and they said they did not want Biden or Harris there. Oh, really? Well, I find that all interesting. They didn't want them there? Wow, that says a lot, okay? That definitely says a lot. Thank you, beloved. I hadn't heard that, honey. Okay, well, too bad and so sad. Okay, so what have Biden been doing after stepping down? Sneaking in so e-laws under the radar. I think that's a typo. Sneaking in new laws under the radar. Is that what you're saying, beloved? And so with that all being said, Biden, I don't know what he's doing, but I do know that whatever he and Kamala do, they make a myriad of excuses for them. That's what it looks like to me. Luna says, you tore her up. Thank you, beloved. I mean, see, here's the thing. When she's saying all this stuff, most people are just going to listen to what she's saying and go by her own talking points. They're not going to actually fact check and do the research to figure out if she's telling the truth or not. And it was just easy to debunk her claims about them, cutting the child poverty rate in half and all of this and that. Like, sit down somewhere. Just more lies. Okay, and the media is quick to call out Trump's lies, but they don't call out hers, is all I'm saying. And then see how they try to shut people down when they say anything about her. And they already have the fake fact checkers now debunking certain things about her and all of that. Okay. And some people's videos have even been removed on TikTok for telling the absolute truth about Kobani. Yeah, right. So with that all been said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now I'm going to go to this video because, as I said, they had a panel discussion and they were going in on Kabami. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Okay, Bettina said some laws. Right, okay, beloved. I knew you were saying something about some laws. Okay. All right, here we go. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
Donald's Fox and Friend Weekends co-host Will Cain and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. All right, I'll start with you, Congressman Donalds. You know, James Carville was probably right when he said that Kamala Harris has to really answer for her left messaging and everything that she said. And he basically said that preachy females were to blame for the messaging problem. Has Kamala taken away those concerns that Carville had?
No, she hasn't, Judge. If anything, looking at that first clip, she's only amplified them. They had the campaigns having staffers leak out to the press saying that she was changing all these positions. Then when she's finally asked about it, after 40 days of having been able to sit in the back and craft an answer, she comes out with that her values have not changed. This is not good for the Harris campaign because, number one, the imagery did not look good. She did not look strong. Mm-hmm. She did not look like the mantle of a president. And then number two, she backtracks on all of the leaks that her campaign was using to backtrack off of her radical, progressive, liberal agenda. It did not go well. I'm pretty sure that the rest of this interview did not go well, but we'll see. But the bigger issue is Kamala Harris has hidden from the press because she cannot actually go toe-to-toe with reporters and the American people to question and go through her record. It is a radical record. It is a bad record for the American people. I think you're seeing the beginning of the end for this campaign.
And you know, Will Cain, the whole idea that she is a candidate for change, according to Ben Stiller, is stunning to me because there's no change. She's been in the White House for 3 years and 9 months. What is wrong with these people?
There's a change in the vibes, Judge. There's a change in the top of the totem pole. There's a new totem. But underneath that totem, for the rest of the totem pole, is the same policies. Like Newt Gingrich and the congressman, I actually find it very notable, important, Judge, that she said her values have not changed. I think a very worthy follow-up would be, could you please explain? Indeed. Would you articulate your values? Because we could explain and we could show a montage right now, Judge, of her saying, for example, that we need to fight for equity. When she explains equity, she says not everybody starts at the same place, but everybody should end up at the same place. And in order to do so, some should get more than others. Well, that might not be an exact repetition, but it's pretty rhythmic with the popular Marxist saying of from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. It sounds to me like she is doubling down on values that are overtly Marxist.
They are overtly Marxist, Miranda Devine. I mean, when they talk about, and even Wall's brothers and sisters and you know, the Marxism, we look forward, we never look back. I mean, it's almost like, you know, pre-World War II.
Yes, it is, Judge. And look, the entire way that they're running her campaign is very communistic. It's very top-down control and a lot of brainwashing and lying and pretending that there's joy out there, when really the news that's filtering through from Harris campaign headquarters is that it's just full of confusion. There's competing priorities. You have you know, people from her old loyalists from her disastrous 2019 campaign. You've got the old Biden campaign loyalists who she kept on. And then you've got this new Obama team coming in, the old Obama 2012 crew like David Plouffe, and they're not meshing together. They all have completely different priorities. And the real problem is that you have a candidate who cannot make up her mind. She is insecure and indecisive. And, it took her 40 days to figure out which sycophantic media outlet she was going to give this pre-recorded 18-minute interview. I'm sure it'll be her only one of the campaign. And even then, she had to have her wingman, as you call him, emotional support partner, Tim Walz, by her side. And as Byron said, the optics were just shocking. She was dwarfed by them. I think she was looking for the CEO in command look, but it didn't work.
No, not at all. Not at all. And Congressman Donalds, I'll go back to you. It's not just the Obama campaign, the Biden campaign, the Harris campaign, or people, like 92% of the people who worked in her office left, but you've also got Mark Elias from the Steele dossier days. And, it's almost as though her campaign is reflecting, in terms of it being chaotic and disorderly, the candidate herself as a person who is not being asked follow-ups and is not clear on what she believes in.
Judge, what we are witnessing is what happens when you have a machine candidate, somebody that is picked by the Democratic machine. Every aspect of that machine wants to have their hands in this campaign. And to Miranda's point, it doesn't look like she has the confidence within herself or the ability to take charge and lead this campaign. If she can't do that, how's she going to lead the United States of America? Contrast that with Donald J. Trump. Judge, I can assure you, he's in charge of that campaign. Everybody has their job, but the buck stops with him. He makes the decisions and they move forward. But that's why we were so successful as a country, because he is take charge. He is a leader. This interview already is demonstrating that she is not. I mean, Dana Bash might be 5 feet tall, and she looked bigger than Kamala Harris tonight.
Yeah, she looked much bigger. And, Will, I'll go to you. I think there's something like 67 days. It took her 40 days. It's like she was in the desert for 40 days, wringing her hands, trying to figure out, oh, my gosh, who should I have do the interview? And I'll bring my wingman with me, and there won't be enough time, and we can edit it. Nobody's talking. We haven't seen the edits yet. But is there enough time to overcome this joy and lunacy of a change?
They're legally robbing you. And it's happening every time you pay for car insurance.
So much pressure is going to come down to that debate, because I don't have much faith at all that the press will be able to pull her out of that manufactured AI candidate, stage managed version of Kamala Harris, the real version that we saw windows of, glimpses of for the last 4 years. Somebody that does not think on their feet and does not have depth when it comes to the issues. So if I can't count on the press to give us that authenticity, the only real opportunity does come down to that debate for Donald Trump. And hopefully we're not limited to one debate, but that's the best chance to see the real Kamala.
And, Miranda, you talked yesterday, you were speaking about Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg has made the decision that he's not going to give $400 million in bucks, and, he's not going to be subject to any kind of intimidation like the intimidation from the Biden-Harris campaign. What do you think that signals in terms of this election?
I think it shows that Zuckerberg is seeing what side of the road he needs to be on, and he suspects that Donald Trump is going to win the next election. And he knows that he's in bad odor with Donald Trump and his supporters because of what he did to help rig the 2020 election. So I think it's too little too late. He's very disingenuous, but I guess it's a good sign. At least the powerful sensorial people from the 2020 election are losing power, because if you've got someone like Mark Zuckerberg joining forces with Elon Musk, or at least trying to get on that side of the post, you know that Donald Trump is ascendant.
Okay, and Congressman Donalds, very quickly, Kamala Harris right now is riding this joy balloon. At some point, it's gotta start leaking. I mean, there are leaks coming out of the campaign, but how long will she be able to withstand the kind of pressure that she's going to be under, not so much from the press, but in terms of the campaign itself?
Not much longer, because the demands and the expectations are only going to rise. As we watch this full interview, if this thing doesn't go well, there's going to be calls for her to step out and do more. The debate, all the pressure's on Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump. We know who Donald Trump is and what he's going to do. She has to demonstrate the stature, the competency, and then the ideas to be president of the United States. So I think you're going to see more out of this campaign as things trend downwards for Kamala Harris.
And quickly, Will Kane, you know, it's kind of tight right now. What do you think is going on?
I can't explain to the American public embracing Kamala Harris. I truly cannot. I think that it is just this. I really cannot.
Okay, he said he cannot even understand the American public embracing Kabami at the end of the day. And then did she say Zuckerbucks? Let me tell you all something. At the end of the day, here's the thing. Kamala is not, you know, she's not confident enough in herself, as far as I'm concerned, to stand on her own 2 feet. Okay, and like he made a good point, Donald's made a good point saying that if she can't just sit there doing that interview by herself, she can't stand up by herself on her own 2 feet. Basically, how's she going to lead this country? How is she going to be going around here meeting with other world leaders and not be intimidated? Okay, I just don't see it happening at the end of the day. And so that information that was put up about the cop in Vegas was supposedly going to expose Kabami and this representative. I'm going to have to look into that because that's very interesting. Okay, so anyway, the Teamsters president also had some things to say about Kabami, and so did Tyrese. Okay, because Tyrese was talking about how her and Biden, you know, never did an anti-black hate crime bill. And I told you all the same thing. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. I told you all the exact same thing. That's one of my biggest complaints. But she had one for Asians. Okay, so make that make sense. Now I'm going to have a word from my sponsor, and then I'll continue with the next video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so you can get your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Go to Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so thank you for letting me know. I forgot who it was, but thank you for letting me know that the Gold Star families already came out and said they didn't want her and Biden there. Now, you see, to me, that speaks volumes. I am really shocked to hear that. I would never have thought they would have not wanted them there because basically Trump, you know, he skirted being in the military. Okay, talking about he had bone spurs. So you mean to tell me they wanted Trump there rather than Kabami and Biden? Now that really says a lot. And also, I just pulled up this video I'm going to share right now where they say that they even defended Trump after the media went in on him for taking photographs. Okay, in an area that usually they're not designated to take photographs at. So likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Here's another case where the media is also weighing in. I'll let you set this up, Joey, because I know this one's close to your heart.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Section 60 in Arlington is essentially where all of the killed in action are buried from Mine and Pete's War, the 20-year war, Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's very well known to us, and it's something that's very near and dear to us. I've seen Westboro Baptist Church protest there. I've seen a half dozen of my friends buried there. And essentially what has happened is President Trump was invited by the families of the 13 Afghanistan heroes that were killed at the Abbey Gate to come and present a wreath. And then afterwards, he was invited to visit graves. The original or the initial reaction was, this was so solemn. and quiet and respectful. But now with a little bit of detail, Kamala Harris and the entire Democrat establishment is attacking President Trump for simply visiting the graves of those heroes and at the request of family members taking pictures. This is Kamala Harris's post on X. She says, "Let me be clear. The former president disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. This is nothing new from Donald Trump. This is a man who has called our fallen service members suckers and losers and despairs Medal of Honor recipients. This is a man who is unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself." First of all, there's a lies in that statement. But to put those on the side for a minute and just look at what she said about how he disgraced or dishonored a solemn place. Ma'am, he showed up to Arlington National Cemetery. And where were you? These service members died, apparently, while you were the last person in the room making decisions that led to their death. I've never heard you utter their names. I've never seen you meet with their parents, many of whom invited Donald Trump to be there. I've spoken to their parents. I've met them and shaken their hands and hugged their necks. Where the hell were you on that day? And all you want to do is make a political point out of it. You're the one making this for show, and that is absolutely dishonorable.
Well, you spoke about the parents, and here's what they had to say.
We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken. President Trump has been there for us from the very beginning when our son and the other 12 of his brothers and sisters in arms were murdered due to your negligence and uncaring attitude towards our military.
Why did we want Trump there? It wasn't to help his political campaign. We wanted a leader. That explains why you and Joe didn't get a call.
Vice President Harris, I ask you, why won't you return a call and explain to us how you call my daughter-in-law's death a success? Vice President Harris, why will you not express your condolences yourself? Why have we never heard from you? And finally, why would you take a day where we celebrated the death of our loved one and use it to disparage not only them, but us?
Because this is heartbreaking, but I want to ask you, Pete, just from a political perspective, why the heck would Kamala Harris weigh in on this when she has blood on her hands here? This is, I just, from a political point of view, this is dumb.
Well, their entire premise of Joe Biden's campaign and hers is predicated on hoaxes about Donald Trump, right? Fine people hoax, suckers and losers hoax, Charles, all these. So this is another hoax, Arlington hoax, trying to make him, because listen, when you watch TV, when I saw Donald Trump there, the first thing I thought watching it live was, where the hell is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
I text Brian Massey and said, what was the protocol
is
for
going
him
on
to be there?
Absolutely.
Like, it was really amazing to me that a former president, not a sitting representative of the current government, was there. It was almost
exactly. So why weigh in on it, Joey?
Well,
that's my question.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, this just brings up Afghanistan for them.
They think they can make it all about him again. That's their political.
It's not going to work this time.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Okay, so sitting there just making excuses. And then at the end of the day, when did Donald Trump call them suckers and losers? I absolutely cannot. Okay, so at the end of the day, that explains why they weren't invited. Okay, that explains why they weren't invited. You know, it's a darn shame when a former president is invited and you're not, and you're the sitting president and you're VP. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, so at the end of the day, Lillian X said, I don't see the hyena winning. I can't see her sitting in the Oval Office chair. Okay, I was laughing at something else somebody said too. Chicago News 101 says Kamala desecrated the black community, saying she's black. Well, you know what, beloved? She wouldn't say it in that darn interview. She wouldn't say it in that interview. Okay, that's how you know she's all cap. I want you all to pay attention. She is a hot mess at the end of the day. So That's another L for her and Biden is all I'm saying. Now let's get into this video with Tyrese, because Tyrese, like I said, he was talking to Benjamin Crump about Kabami and Biden. And I have to say that I agree. It was no lies detected. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Fox News alert.
Hold on, that's not it.
President Biden and Kamala Harris signed an Asian hate crime bill, which makes it beyond illegal to ever purposely and maliciously do anything to anybody in the Asian community. And there was a spike in crimes and criminal behavior in and around COVID, allegedly and specifically motivated by Trump. And so everybody started treating Asians, beating them, killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, hurting them. And then he gets into the White House, skips over every black and brown Mexican and Latino that have been getting killed like flies, and he makes it a law. Asian hate crime bill is signed into law. So whether you're a police officer or a regular civilian, if you wake up on a Wednesday and say, he's Asian, a woman or a man, let's go do something bad to them, which God forbid would ever happen again. But it is a crime bill that was signed into law that protects Asians at all costs. Where is that same fucking law to be signed into law when it comes to black and brown people? Because what you're doing is, President Biden and Kamala Harris, what you're doing is you're saying that black and brown people will continue to be disposable. That's why we got to vote, and we got to make sure our voices are heard, Tyrese. And it matters when we speak up and speak truth to power. When we speak what's on our heart, we will be heard. But first, you got to have the courage to speak up. And that's why I love you, Tyrese. You speak your heart, and your heart will never fail you.
And that's why I love Tyrese too, because at the end of the day, he's not being a bootlick or a Democratic shield or somebody who's a member of the go along to get along gang. At the end of the day, he's telling the truth about Kabami and Biden. Okay, not sitting here trying to pressure us, the rest of us, into voting for her because she's black. Okay, please pay attention. All right, so shout out to Tyrese for telling the truth about her. Now, listen to this report, because they say that there's another plot, likely another plot for Trump's assassination before November.
Fox News alert. A Secret Service counter sniper is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team is announcing he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style assassination. And the only reason that hasn't happened is because they've gotten lucky. He says Secret Service leadership is corrupt and states clearly, quote, "We all should expect another assassination attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership." After this email went public, it was wiped off the Secret Service servers. There's a massive cover-up underway, and it spilled over into Congress. After Cheadle resigned in disgrace, her number 2 got promoted and testified today that the Secret Service screwed up, but the local police, it was really all their fault.
Okay, so I find that all very interesting. Okay, I find that all very interesting, because that goes right back to what I told you all 4 years ago, and I've been telling you consistently since then, that there was something going to happen to Trump in the way of an assassination, and that the Secret Service was involved in it. That's what I dreamt. And so now here we have it, that the Secret Service is corrupt. And when he says he's trying to prevent, the counter sniper is exposing this all to try to prevent another JFK-style assassination, because you all do realize that the Secret Service was allegedly in on JFK's assassination. Okay, if you watch the video, you literally see one of the Secret Servicemen on the back of the car get off of the vehicle. And then right after, that's when the president is shot. And also, if you pay attention, the driver of the limo is the one who fired that shot. Okay? All right, the driver of the limo fires a shot over his left shoulder. That's why Jackie O was trying to get that H up out of there. And another thing, too, is that allegedly, and I can't substantiate this, but for decades it has been said that some of the people that were right there on the front lines of the parade that saw what happened all turned up dead. Okay? So I just want you all to pay attention. I just want you all to pay attention. At the end of the day, Vince says, I can remember the Queen's warning a few years ago. Okay? So this is all so crazy. The lovely T said, you said it, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Y'all know I be having prophetic dreams at the end of the day. But now let's get into what the president of the Teamsters Union had to say about Kobami. He says he hasn't endorsed Kamala Harris yet because you don't hire someone unless you give them an interview. Please pay attention. Okay? Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here we go.
He is the president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, one of the nation's largest labor unions, and he joins us this morning from Boston. President O'Brien, thank you so much for being with us on this Labor Day weekend. I want to start out by asking you about endorsements. You lead one of the 10 largest unions in the country, and I want to put this graphic up. Take a look. The other 9 have all issued their endorsements for President of the United States. They've all endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. It is now September 1st. Where has summer gone? When do the Teamsters plan to announce who they are endorsing?
Well, I think historically the Teamsters have always endorsed after both respective conventions. This is a little different this time under our leadership. We've brought every single candidate to the table in front of our rank and file members and our general executive board, and we're waiting on Vice President Harris to commit to come meet with us.
And I believe her campaign says they are working with you to figure out a date for that. You know, her policies are more or less in line with the current president, who you did sit down with when you thought that he was going to be the nominee, when we all thought he was going to be the nominee. Are there any concerns that you have about Harris possibly being less pro-labor, less pro-union than the current president?
So our union is a lot different than most unions. We represent 1.3 million members. Half of our members are Republicans, half of our members are Democrats. So we have to serve all of our membership equally. Look, everybody has a different style of leadership. We want the opportunity to sit down with Vice President Harris. I mean, I said to someone the other day, you don't hire someone unless you give them an interview. And, you know, this is our opportunity to ask her about Teamster-specific issues and also labor issues. So until we have that meeting, you know, obviously we will wait to make that determination.
Very quickly, you didn't endorse anyone back in 1996. Is there a possibility that could happen again?
Look, we want to make sure we make the best decision and endorse the best candidate for labor. You know, 1996 was a long time ago. It's all going to be driven by our rank and file members and our leadership. We're a very, very democratic union.
Got it. Sean O'Brien, stay with us. We're going to have more questions for you after.
Okay, with that all being said, doesn't look like he'll be endorsing Kobami anytime soon, that's all I'm saying. And I want you all to pay attention to something, because remember how years ago, 4 years ago to be exact, Ice Cube went and wanted to speak with the Democrats, and then they told him to wait till after the election. Now fast forward, here we are on the heels of another election, and they still haven't spoken to him. Now, what I find interesting is that some of these black folk who are out here kissing Kobami's boots and making all these ignorant excuses for her, you know, they have the audacity to try to lie on Ice Cube. I just want you to pay attention, because let me just go to this footage. Because someone made a post basically saying that Ice Cube he had a chance to go sit with VP Harris, but he declined. When did he decline? Did Ice Cube decline going to sit with her? Okay. And then they were calling him all kinds of names and all that, calling him raccoons and all of that. But D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, and Ricky Smiley aren't raccoons. I just find it all interesting, because the very people who actually try to do something to help us are the very ones that some ignorant black folk will go in on.
What didn't they agree with?
I guess 85% because I still haven't spoken to them about it. So, they haven't done anything to act on it. I've had one conversation with an assistant to the president, but no talk with the president, and no other movement. So we're still working though. We're still, like I said, working behind the scenes. We have hopefully a major announcement to make soon, and we're going to go to the private companies and see if they are willing to change some of their practices to move the needle and help all of us prosper.
How did you view the heat that you took for engaging with the Trump administration?
I just think people didn't understand, exactly where I was coming from. And people are really used to seeing, Black people just go on one side to the Democratic Party. And, we've been doing that for a long time as a people. And we haven't really gained as much as I believe we should. And I believe it's important to engage with both sides, and not just one side.
Okay, Ice Cube is absolutely right. All right, he is absolutely right. No lies detected. Okay, and at the end of the day, listen, you have to talk to the side that's willing to sit down and talk to you. Okay, the Trump administration, their side wanted to talk to him, so he sat down with them. The Democrats, like I said, they told him to wait till after the election. Why did he have to wait? Okay, why did he have to wait? They could have sat there and talked to him about a possible or potential plan if they won the election. And then even after, they have not reached out to him. Okay, October says, notice how ICE didn't ish on his own people. Exactly. Even though his own people, some of us ished on him. Okay, this is also crazy. See, Black people in many cases love to praise the wrong people. It's so easy to manipulate, fool, and brainwash Black people into thinking that the enemy is their friend and that their friends are their enemies. That's why we can't get anywhere. That's why we can't get anywhere. Okay, how do you talk down on Ice Cube, but yet you praise Jay-Z, okay, who betrayed Colin Kaepernick, betrayed us, and went ahead and signed a deal with the NFL after all the racism they exhibited and continue to still do so? At the end of the day, how do you praise that? And then someone said that Ice Cube declined to sit down with other rappers. Well, I don't blame him. Okay, I don't blame him, because most of these other rappers, like Plies, for example, they sound stupid. Okay, Jermaine Dupri, they sound stupid. They want us to vote for Kabami just because she's Black. When asked about her policies, they can't give us anything. Okay, Plies tried to come up with a few talking points, but at the end of the day, that was all based on the fact that he is thinking and keeps repetitively saying that she's Black. Okay, even if she is Black or was Black, who cares? What is she going to do for Black people? Okay, she cannot relate to us. And she keeps talking about the middle class. What about poor people? Do they not count? What about people who need benefits and things like that they're giving away to these illegal immigrants who are nothing? Many of them are nothing but thugs. Okay, we've seen it in Chicago and Colorado, specifically with the Venezuelan gangs. All right, now I'm not saying all of them are thugs, but some of them absolutely are. Okay, and now they want to give them all of this, the ability to purchase homes and all of that. What about the rest of us? What about the people who've been here? Okay, and so I just find it all interesting. At the end of the day, I can't, in a good, clear conscience, support somebody like Kabami. That's what I can't do. Okay, so with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. For those of you who follow the backup channel, there's the link. Okay, there's the link. I will see you all in a minute because we're starting right after this. All right, so each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit 'em with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got